Hi guys, today I'm going to be making 4 applesauces from the homemade applesauce recipe found on page 325 of our Cookwise textbook. I'm going to be making 2 without sugar and 2 with sugar. I'm using 2 different kinds of apples. For the first 2, I'm going to be using Gala apples from Hy-Vee, and for the second 2 applesauces, I'm going to be using Red Delicious apples, also bought at Hy-Vee. I bought the apples yesterday and all of them looked pretty ripe and ready to go, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the Gala no sugar applesauce. Alright, so I have placed my 3 peeled and cored apples in this 8x8 glass pan, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap this with my cling wrap, and I'm going to put them in the microwave for about 10 minutes or until the apples are soft. And I made sure to put the thicker parts of my apple towards the outside of the surface since they're going to be in the microwave. My apples have been in the microwave for 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and take them out. Alright, now I'm going to have a look at our apples. They look pretty soft to me. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of poke at them. So they're nice and soft. The next step of the recipe calls for us to mash the apples with a potato masher. I don't have one of those, so I'm just going to use a metal spoon in my drawer. Okay, so here are my mashed apples. I ended up using a fork like this to mash them. I think that's the most similar to a potato masher that I have in my kitchen. The next step calls to add in the cinnamon and salt since this is the non-sugar recipe, and I'm going to go ahead and do that next. Alrighty, so here is my first applesauce. I wanted you guys to get a look at it. I left mine a little chunky because I do enjoy chunkier applesauce. I'm going to go ahead and taste a little bite of this right now just to see the immediate results. Okay, so even though it doesn't have sugar, it's actually still pretty sweetened by the cinnamon and the apple's natural sugars. I'm going to go ahead and saran wrap this in this dish and refrigerate it until my dinner later with my friends. Okay, so now it's time to make the second Gala applesauce, except this time I'm going to be using the light brown sugar the recipe calls for. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this, and I'm using the same dish. I've washed it, obviously, but I'm going to use the same dish for consistency purposes as far as like heat distribution from the microwave. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it and cook it for another 10 minutes. Okay, so my second apples are done microwaving and they're pretty soft. I'm going to go ahead and mash them the same way, and then I'm going to be adding in all the same ingredients, except this time I'm going to be using brown sugar. Okay, so this is my second Gala applesauce. This one is the one that I made with sugar, and if you look at it, it's, first of all, I feel like this one is darker than my first applesauce, but I can definitely taste the sweetness of the sugar. So next I'm going to make the applesauce without sugar again with the Red Delicious apples. Okay, so here are my Red Delicious apples. I'm going to cover them with saran wrap just like I did in the first two and microwave for 10 minutes. Okay, so here are my Red Delicious apples, batch 1. I'm going to go ahead and make these without sugar and see how they turn out. This is the Red Delicious applesauce made without sugar. If you can see, it's like a little bit chunkier than the other one, and I mashed it for about the same time and at the same rate, but I'm going to go ahead and try it. It's pretty good. It's about the same as the first ones. I think these are a little bit sweeter apples, though. Okay, so here is my Red Delicious apples. I'm going to go ahead and mash them. And this one, I'm just going to do the same, except I'm going to be using the brown sugar to see how that works. Okay, so this is my fourth and final applesauce. It was made with the Red Delicious apples. As far as appearance goes, it looks pretty much the same as the first ones. I'm going to go ahead and try this. It's definitely my favorite applesauce of the four. Okay, so I learned this week from our text that sugars are actually used in fruits to help preserve them. Whenever I refrigerated all four of my applesauces, it did turn out that the ones with sugar tend to stay more in their texture, and they did also retain, like, obviously their sweetness, but their shape and how they were mashed stayed the same throughout. The fourth applesauce was my favorite, I think because I do enjoy sugar. I also found that the Red Delicious apples were a lot sweeter to taste than the Gala apples.